Hello, I'm Joel Hertz for Eyes on Vaughan. I have the privilege today of sitting with Stephen Del Duca, who's running for mayor of Vaughan, and we'd like to ask him some questions and give you some ideas about how he views the city. So, Stephen, thank you very much for coming. How long have you been involved in politics?
Well, first of all, Joel, it's my pleasure to be on with you today. Thanks for this opportunity. I've been active in politics since I was 14 going on 15, so that's about 34 years now. Campaigning, getting out there, learning about government and politics while doing some other things. But yeah, about 34 years now.
That's fabulous. And how long have you been living in Vaughan?
It's now 35 years. We moved up from Etobicoke back in the mid-'80s. We lived in Kleinburg first, and now my wife and I are raising our two young daughters in Woodbridge.
That's fantastic. What challenges do you see for Vaughan coming up?
Well, look, in the more than 3 decades that we've lived here, and I know many residents across the city have seen this, there's been explosive growth in Vaughan. Thousands and thousands of new people who've moved to this community and made it so diverse, so vibrant, such a leading community here in the province of Ontario. My number one challenge, the number one priority for me in this campaign that I'm running on, is dealing with the traffic gridlock that we have in the city. I think that we have a transportation network that hasn't necessarily kept up with all of the growth. Sometimes we build in that infrastructure after we've actually had to absorb the growth, and that's made things a little bit tough. So we know more growth is coming to the city because of what we see from the province, what we see from people who want to live here. We are a destination, which is a really good thing. As mayor, I want to make sure that we're shaping that growth so it's respectful of existing neighborhoods. I want to make sure that we build a transportation network that is actually going kind of hand in hand with the growth and not trying to ram it in after the fact. That's my number one priority. I'll also say I know that many families in this community are facing some very severe affordability challenges, particularly our seniors like my mom and dad who also live in Woodbridge, people who've spent their whole lives working and sacrificing and being dedicated, and now they want just a little bit of help from their local government. I think there's a way for us to do that. And lastly, I'll talk about customer service. I think especially during COVID, people feel a little bit disconnected from all levels of government. As mayor of this city, if I win on October 24th, I'll be accessible, my office will be accessible, a phone call or an email away, because ultimately, politics and government is about customer service. It's about the people.
That's great. We really appreciate that, Stephen. Just going back to transportation, one of your areas of interest, of course, being past Minister of Transportation for the province. Anything specific you want to say about traffic and transportation within Vaughan?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, again, honored to serve one of the longest serving transportation ministers for Ontario in the last 50 years. And I learned a lot when I had that responsibility about what it takes to make sure you have a transit and transportation network that works for people. So number one, I think about our city, and there are so many east-west corridors or roads like Kirby, like Teston, like Langstaff that don't connect all the way through. And what that does is it forces traffic to Major Mac and Rutherford and Highway 7, and it makes it really, really tough for people and goods to move around. I want to see us build more of those east-west connections. I want to make sure that we have the Yonge North subway extension. It's great that we opened a subway back in 2017 here in Vaughan when I was Minister of Transportation. I was honored to have a role in that. But I want to see Yonge North get built in a way that works for residents of Thornhill and Concord, residents of Vaughan. I want to see GO train service in Woodbridge and Kleinburg, Nashville on what's known as the GO train line that goes up to Bolton. I want to make sure that we have better coordination of our traffic signaling and our road construction. Sounds like a little thing, but it's actually a really big deal in terms of keeping traffic and keeping people moving, which ultimately means that we spend less time stuck in our cars and more time at home with loved ones.
Thank you very much. That is fantastic. Another area I just wanted to get into is the new Cordellucci Hospital. I understand you were involved right from the beginning on that.
So even before becoming an MPP, and I served for 6 years as the MPP for Vaughan, even before becoming an MPP as a volunteer in the community, I had the chance to work on advocating and fundraising for what is now our hospital. And then as MPP, to be able to secure the more than $1 billion investment for what is now the Cordellucci Vaughan Hospital was truly, I'll call it the highlight of my political career to date. And I can still fondly remember the groundbreaking that we had for the hospital and the excitement in this community because at long last we were building a hospital and now it's open and it's serving this community and I love it.
Absolutely, that is fantastic. And do you see yourself as a consensus builder on council?
You know, I look forward, should I win, to have the opportunity to partner with the other members of council. I think at the local level, it needs to be about collaboration. It needs to be about working together as council, but together as council with the community, with the residents, with the small business owners, with the neighborhoods that give Vaughan its character. And that's something that I look forward to having the chance to do.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Stephen. I've been here with Stephen Del Duca, who is running for mayor of Vaughan. You can reach Stephen at stephendelduca.ca, and he urges you to do so. Thank you very much. That's Joel Hertz again for Eyes on Vaughan, and we'll be having more of these reports in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel.